Well, if you're like me, you might have a bunch of rhubarb in your garden. I was at a campsite a couple of weeks ago, and the gracious host of the campsite was making whiskey sours, and she made them with a rhubarb simple syrup out of her garden. And it got me thinking, got the gears turning, that I have a ton of rhubarb in my backyard as well. And what a perfect way to use it. So we're going to make a rhubarb simple syrup today, together with some fresh backyard rhubarb. I'll show you how to do it, and follow along if you like. Now, when you're cutting your rhubarb out, you don't want to take off every single stalk. You want to leave at least a couple of stalks with a couple of leaves, just so it can reestablish itself. But even just a few small ones is all you really need. So I'm going to take all of these big ones out. I'm just going to leave these few small leaves here, and that will regrow for later. So I'm just going to take all these big leaves off and just leave the rhubarb stalks. So to make the simple syrup, it's just a basic recipe, you know. It's usually about 1 cup of water to 1 cup of sugar. And then I've read it's about 1.5 cups of chopped rhubarb or fruit to every cup of water and sugar you use. So that's the recipe we're going to do today. It's not very hard. It's pretty easy. And then hopefully we're left with a delicious simple syrup at the end that I can make drinks with, or just mix with sparkling water and have a nice fresh spring drink. All of these big leaves I'm just going to throw in my compost to get digested. But we're going to take all of this here for our simple syrup. And what we're left with is a bunch of stalks of rhubarb. Now the next thing you're going to want to do, don't be nasty, you got to wash all your rhubarb stalks off. Now that's some clean rhubarb. Okay, get in there and chop up all that rhubarb into little pieces. You're going to do one at a time, you'll be here forever. Take a few of these stalks. It doesn't have to be perfect, just chop. Into the bowl. Got a handful. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect, just a rough chop. And I don't know exactly how much we have, but we're just going to use everything. I actually have a couple more rhubarb plants outside to make some pies with, or maybe some more simple syrup. I don't know. What do you guys use your rhubarb for? Okay, we're going to turn on that heat to medium high. First thing we're going to do is add our rhubarb and our sugar. We're going to let that all combine together, get syrupy before we add our water. So now there's about 4.5, almost 5 cups of chopped rhubarb. We're going to go in with our sugar. I'm using half white and half Demerara cane sugar. So this is just over 3 cups of sugar. We're going to give that a mixy-mixy. And then before it gets too hot, we're going to add our water in there. So we don't end up burning all that sugar. Kind of melting this all down, getting it all mixed in with the rhubarb, getting everything nice and coated, getting a bit of a glaze or a syrup started in the bottom there. And I don't want to give it too long there because I don't want it to burn, but here goes in 3 cups of water. Remember, simple syrup, the standard recipe is 1 cup of water to 1 cup of sugar. So you have about 3 cups of sugar and 3 cups of water and between 4 and 5 cups of rhubarb in there. So we're just going to stir this all up. We're going to let this come to a simmer. We'll let it simmer on the stove for, 25, 30 minutes. Let all those flavors just combine. And then we'll probably strain it out, let it cool, and jar it up. Yeah, it's incredibly easy to make, and it's super delicious. Give it a try if you got some rhubarb growing in the backyard. All right, we'll be back when this comes to a simmer. Okay, so my concoction here started to boil. I turned it down to a low heat because we don't want too much of it to evaporate. I've given it a nice stir, and we're just going to let it simmer here on low heat for 20 or 30 minutes. We'll give it a stir every few minutes so we get it all mixed up. And I will see you back here in about 20 or 30 minutes when it's all done. This is what we're looking like after about 5 minutes. Starting to get a bit of a pink color in there. Smells delicious. Okay, it's finished. This is what it's looking like. It's been about half an hour. Just on a low simmer. Now we're going to strain it out. Set up in the sink here with my strainer over a measuring cup. I'm going to strain out all of those chunks of rhubarb. Give that a stir around in there because it's pretty thick and it's clogging up the holes. We'll let the liquid through. I'm just going to let that drain for a little bit and then we'll do the rest of it after. Going to go in for round 2 and this will finish off the pot. Okay, again, I'm going to let this strain for a little while and then I'll show you what it looks like. So we made 1 liter of rhubarb simple syrup. It's got a beautiful pink hue to it and it smells delicious. Can't wait to try it. Now you could, if you were going to keep this for a long time, you could strain this further through like a cheesecloth, which I did last time with my last simple syrup, but it took a long time and I don't expect this stuff to stick around very long. So I think this should be fine. I'm going to let this cool down. Maybe I'll transfer it to the bottle and I'm going to give it a taste. I'm going to transfer it to this glass juice bottle. It holds 1 liter. And look at that. We made exactly 1 liter. Oh my goodness, that smells good. Let's make a drink. Let's give that a try. If you've got rhubarb in your garden, that's a 10 out of 10. Highly recommend.